Okay, class. In our previous discussion, I was able to explain to you what is the definition of art. And I think you may be surprised of the way I explained it because I was using the poem Trees by Joyce Kilmer. Now, what is actually important in that explanation is that I just want you to to have a familiarization of what is the study of art all about, because this is something that, as I have told you before, it's not about whether it is correct or whether it's right or wrong. It is about how you express yourself. Now, for today, I am going to use another another way of explaining the art. Now, we will use the usual way of explaining it using, of course, the dictionary. Now, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the definition of art that it says that it is a skill acquired by experience, study, or observation. So what is an art? An art is simply a skill. Kana lang siya na. A skill. So kay di sa man na siya nagikan. Actually, kanang term na skill, it is simply a skill. Now, di sa man nagikan kanang skill. Actually, it came from the term ars, Latin term ni siya, Latin, ars, meaning skill. So it is something that you have acquired, because that's a skill. That is something that you have acquired, maybe because according to your experience. Like, for example, you have acquired the way dancing is because ever since when you were in elementary, high school, and college, you were actually having that experience to perform, maybe during intermission of a class. And then you have studied it. Maybe it was your pursuit that I learned how to cook because I study cooking. Now, like for example, also observation. I learned how to paint because I was born in the family of painters. And as I observed my brothers or sisters or my father doing the painting, I observed that the best way of painting is this and that. So you were able to acquire it. So just remember that it is not innate. Dili na siya inborn, ha? Dili na siya inborn, but this is simply being learned. So natutunan na nato. So kung makabati ka somebody may nguna, hello, inborn lagi ka na pagka-talented na mo kanta. No. Makadetect ka na dayon whether the person is having a correct statement or not, because you know in your minds that art is a skill, and a skill is something that you're going to acquire by experience, study, or observation. So klaro na ha? Okay, and then we will move here. It is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination, especially in the production of aesthetics object. Okay, balikon ako ni siya i-explain unsa ni buoti pasabot. Kanang moingunga ni kag conscious, kanang term na conscious kini, conscious. Now, it will immediately come to your point that this is the mind. Kanang atong brain or atong mind. And then you will only come to your mind, hala, I think duha na dayong ka-competing ideas mo sulod ni sa inyong utok, that is your mind. And then you will branch it out to your either intellect and then of course your consciousness. Hala, murag wala na mo ko makita. Intellect or and then usa consciousness. Okay, ako ni siya i-explain what is consciousness and how does it differ with your intellect. Now, kung mayroon kag intellect, when we are speaking of intellect, this means to say this is the ability of your mind to what? Solve problems. So kung mayroon tag intellect, intelligent, the person is intelligent, it means to say that the person possesses the quality of about what? Problem solving. Makasolve na siyang mga problem. Now, what about consciousness? Okay, ang consciousness is our ability to feel. To feel the things that surround us. That's to feel, atong feeling, ana. Okay. To feel the thing that surround us. So like for example, nakakita kag naay pobre din Maybe sa imong intellect, that's not actually your problem. But if you have that consciousness and you were able to feel the sympathy, then it might evolve from that, from the feeling of your own surroundings to become your problem, and that problem your intellect must try to solve it. And then you will come to think, why is it that this person is feeling this way, and then in what way I can help. So this is the difference between intellect and consciousness. But you have to remember that we're using this in art. The conscious use of skills and creative imagination, especially in the production of aesthetics object. So in other words, what is most important in the production of beautiful things, or aesthetic means beautiful things, is not simply the intellect, but it is more on how the artists feel. And at the same time, it is also important that when that artistic object is being done, also the audience must feel also what is being produced. So in other words, maura jud ni siya ang bali matutapa makakita nato that art is simply producing an object, a beautiful object that is actually coming from the feelings of the person who created that. And that is why when we have the so-called, I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree, we have right from the very start the feeling of Joyce Kilmer, the feeling of how he loves the trees, and how he was so amazed under to the last of his poem that he was able to differentiate who created the art. And then he was also expressing who created nature. And according to Joyce Culmer, nature is created by God and art is created by man. And I hope this will reinforce my definition of art. Okay? So by next meeting, I am going to present another items, and that would be about what are the criteria of judging an art and what is the purpose of art. Okay? This would be all. Thank you.